Hello everybody, this is a Lamley showcase. I have mix 2 of Hot Wheels Car Culture, the aptly named, and welcome back, Silhouettes. What a cool mix this is. It's a cool theme for one, and it just invites cool cars, and that is definitely what we have here. So I said it's the second mix. So we're gonna open these up. That's part 1 of this video. That's the entire video, as you know. But I always like to do a car show. And afterwards, so that will be the second part. So if you want to just watch me open these up and put the cars on the turntable, we'll do that. Then you can go and get on with your day. If you want to stick around, I've got a great car show for you. That's why I have the car show mat here. Awesome stuff pertaining to kind of this theme, history, these castings, you name it. You name it. Let's get to it. Silhouettes, great name. Like I said, I would say it refers back to the super silhouettes, but silhouettes is, as a car silhouette has always been in general, how does a silhouette look? What does it look like? I mean, I don't know. There's probably more specifics other than the super silhouettes, but I know historically the super silhouettes from Japan, in fact, in the very first mix of silhouettes, there was an homage, right? They called it the Nissan Skyline silhouette, and we'll talk more about that, but the R30 super silhouette, Sylvia, in those, red and black racing liveries. They're very famous cars, iconic in Japan, kind of launched an entire car culture. Yeah, recognizable cars from the side, even without the details. I would say that the original silhouettes from, I think it was the second year, I would say that would be one of your original hype mixes. I mean, car culture has been, pretty much on fire since it was released in, what was it, 2016? But that silhouettes mix was a big deal, and it was essentially the RWB Porsche that everyone was after. But it was a cool mix as it was. We might get into that for sure. All right, let's get right to it. We're going to open these up. So we're just going to go from 1 to 5. Obviously, this is the Chase 005. We'll put that to the side because we'll open that with its counterpart, right, which is the new model, the McLaren 720S, the Liberty Walk. Speaking of Liberty Walk, let's go to the number 1 of 5. Here's the artwork. Julian has since left Hot Wheels, but I think this is his work, one of his last projects, and obviously it pays homage to this one. What I love about this is, like Modern Classics, it's played on the same theme. The art is very similar. I could go through, and maybe as part of the car show, I'll show you the silhouettes. I only have 3 of the cars. Like I said, I'm basically showing them to you. There was the RWB Porsche. We have another one. It makes its triumphant return. We had this Skyline silhouette, and one of my favorite silhouettes and one of my favorite cars in general, the Greenwood Corvette. All very recognizable, right? I mean, silhouette goes without saying, but the RWB and everything else. So the other cars in this set that I didn't put, 78 Porsche 935, that's a perfect car in that set, and the Chevy Monza, the 76, which was an interesting choice. All of those are perfect, and you can think of a million other castings that you could put in here for maybe Silhouettes 3. LBER34 Super Silhouette Nissan Skyline Super Silhouette makes its return. Homage to the silhouettes. We'll do a car show. There was no R34 Super Silhouette because it wasn't invented yet back in the early to mid 80s. But this was a Liberty Walk homage, and this is the third, and we'll do it in the car show with this Super Silhouette livery, this Sylvia livery that Liberty Walk has done and that Hot Wheels has replicated. So, show you the back of this one. There it is. There is this if you want it. I think Hammer Drops is dropping right now, and so this is due to come very soon. I would assume with hobby dealers and stores, since Mattel has sent it to me. Let's go ahead and open this up and put it on the turntable. Let's go with my goal. Can I get this open from the bottom? Nothing that an edit can't fix. Put that off to the side, and here it is. I won't include as the car show this casting, and by the way, I'm sorry, I'm coming off of a cold. But what do we have? We have the original Mountain Drifters with the Chase, which is highly sought after. We had the Modal Team Transport. We've had the Boulevard in white, and then of course the Fast and Furious version with the Skyline livery. This one obviously with the Sylvia. It's the original Sylvia we'll talk about in the car show, but this one looks really cool in the number 23 with the lightning bolt in white. It just makes sense. And cars like this, these interesting castings, getting this kind of deco, I think is pretty sweet. All right, number 2. We're going to get to it right now. LB Works McLaren 720S. We get two Liberty Walk models. We get the R34 and the McLaren 720S, which is great. So we'll talk about this one first, and then we'll get to the chase. I'll just show them both to you right now. They look amazing. Love it in black, actually, too. But Ron Wong did this one. Working on it a while. I'm very, very excited to finally have it in the collection. Because it's, you know, I could go through and that could be a car show. That could be a car show that I do later, is just all the Liberty Walk castings that have been done now. That Hot Wheels has quite the relationship with Liberty Walk, and I think this McLaren, I think the R34 is going to be more sought after in general, like once history is done. But this McLaren is a pretty fantastic casting, to be honest. I mean, it's, you know, Liberty Walk ruffles some feathers, and they've ruffled mine too. The F40, the Lamborghini Miura, I think is a kind of a cool design. It's hard to watch a Miura get cut up. But a 720S, considering right now it's a newer car, seeing McLaren take this on with this kit, I think is really cool. And, you know, the McLaren aesthetic, I think it works with this. I'm digging the car itself, and I'm digging the casting. I think Ron did a fantastic job. When you look at stance, it's got those deep barrels, which I don't know if the real car would have, but that's what they've got for a wide wheel in the back, and I think it looks awesome. And the color is fabulous too. I should mention that. I think the color is great. Here is the chase. Everything is the same, except it's obviously black. I do love that they went with the black and white artwork on this one. There was no chase before with the first silhouettes mix, so this is new, and they did it with, there was a different mix that they did this with, which I thought was kind of cool. All right, where they took the art and turned it black and white. So I think when they do this and do a little, there's always something special it seems they're doing with these chases, not just turning them black. And, you know, obviously Roxy was a little different, but it seems like they other than the black color, they hold no hard fast rule on these. Here it is. So you get, well, I don't know, is it kind of a satin? Oh, that's kind of, see, look, there is some differences. I was wondering when I grabbed that. So you get a matte base on the original, and you get a gloss painted base on the chase. And then I'll look and see if there's any other differences. I mean, the Liberty Walk logo's on the side. I think that's, I mean, it's a straight up black chase, right? And it looks fabulous. I think I like the color on the regular one better, but this chase is fantastic. And I mean, that is a cool silhouette. 720S is definitely a recognizable silhouette. When you see a McLaren, this era McLaren, you know, I mean, any McLaren, right? What are you going to mistake it for? I don't know. McLarens are McLarens. That's a great chase. I think it looks great. I love it in black. And we will keep on going. Here is the Nissan 300ZX. It looks like it loses the GTS, maybe because it loses the livery. I think this is a highly recognizable silhouette, too, when you're talking about the IMSA Z. And I do think that this, what they've done here, clearly, and I've seen some complaints about this livery with the Primera from last year. Clearly, Hot Wheels doesn't have the Calsonic license. If they did, it would be on here. I still think it's cool that they're running with these colors. And this model looks amazing in blue with the white rims. I think the iconic RWB and the McLaren, of course, the cool homage to the super silhouettes with the R34. But this might be my favorite of the set. I'm a sucker for this casting. I think I've made that clear. I love the 300ZX. It goes all the way back to when I was a teenager in the original 300, the original generation of this 300ZX. It doesn't beat the Team Transport from last year. That'll be in the car show, so we'll talk about that then. But I love this. I love the rims. I love the color. I love, you know, that Calsonic blue. And you know, it doesn't say, it says Hot Wheels on the hood. It says Nissan on the side. I'm cool with this. I guess, you know, like I'd be super happy if it was a Calsonic livery, but I don't think just because it's not, I have to complain about this. I love it. And I, you know, I'm probably answering to a small number of people who have complained. with the lack of Calisonic. But if you don't have the license, you don't have the license. And I think this one just looks appropriate. It would look very weird in plain blue, right? So having a racing livery on it, paying homage to historic racing liveries. I love it. They've done that forever. I mean, you go back to vintage racing. I just think that car is fabulous. I'm really into it. All right. Let's talk about Colette Davis's Mazda RX-7 FC Pandem. I don't know. I think Colette Davis is a YouTuber if you're not familiar. I don't know if her car is a Pandem kit, but this is the right casting to use, I think. I guess they could have used the basic, but I don't think that basic has moved to premium yet. Art is fantastic. Obviously, I can't remember seeing Colette Davis's car if it has a Hot Wheels logo on the side. I know she's done work with Hot Wheels in the past, hence this car. Hence this car being made by Hot Wheels. But I don't know, if it shares a Hot Wheels livery. But I do like this. I do like this car actually quite a bit. Has drift vibe, obviously. Let's see on the back windows. You've got Drift HQ. That makes sense. Action clutch. I can't read all of them. But House of Pre. This is cool. It's based on a real car. It's based on Colette Davis's car, obviously. It's a customized RX-7. This one has the Pandem kit. It has a drift look. The color of the wheels is fabulous. And, we haven't seen this casting come to premium since it debuted a couple years ago, so I'm happy to see that. It's been in the Silver Series. I'm not one to collect the Silver Series, so, whatever. All right, let's get to number 5. I don't know. I think that, a chase is always going to get picked up. But if I don't see a chase on the pegs, which I probably won't, I doubt I'm ever going to see this one on the pegs. This will be the center of the car show. RW Porsche makes its triumphant return. It has been a while. I've said this, it's a complicated license. When you think about RWB and you're not going to, especially if you're Hot Wheels. We've talked about this in other videos about licensing and some of the complicated nature of licensing. Some people will say, well, this car is so modified, we just have to license with the team that modified it. We don't have to license at all, which I don't agree with at all. But if you're Hot Wheels and you're Mattel and you're dealing with, you have to be very specific. And so you're not only dealing with RWB, but you got to deal with Porsche and you got to get approvals across the board. So it's a lot of work. It's probably very slow. And it is very exciting to have RWB be back after a long absence. I mean, the last time we saw him was this year, right? I think this is based on a real RWB. Well, of course it is. And I don't know who owns it, but 1048 style. Let's just open it up. Let's just open it up. This is a hype model again, and when you add it, you add the R34 to this mix. When you add the McLaren and a McLaren Chase, I don't know what they would have done if they made this. They don't need to make the RWB a Chase, considering they already did the Stella Artois, or an homage to the Stella Artois. Can't do the Stella Artois right here. I guess we could put some art up here. This is fantastic. All right, we'll do the car show later. We'll talk about it. But this one in white is so great. Love that it has the copper or gold or whatever color bronze wheels on it. The plain white with the raw weld on the windshield. Everything is right about this one. Absolutely love it in white. We'll do the car show and figure out which one I like the best. You guys can decide as well. But it's a great casting. There's not much I need to say about it because I think everybody's excited for its return. RWB's taken some hits, in the last few months, but I still think that as far as like the custom, I mean, when you've got a car bookended by, or a set bookended by Liberty Walk and RWB, I don't know how significant that will be in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's significant now. And I think that's really cool, especially in this world of silhouettes. All right, there you go. Silhouettes are open. They look fantastic. They've been on the turntable. You want to go and do something else, you can. I highly suggest you stick around for the car show, so let's get on with that. All right, let's do the car show. Let's just start. I've got in the background the cards from the original silhouettes, so we might as well dedicate a section to the original silhouettes. We'll get to the RWB since there's a repeat on that one, but let's go through. There's kind of a JDM theme going here with a few of these cars, but we'll but obviously it goes in different directions. So, but this would have been, this would be a huge, and I'm going to put this right here with these other, iconic racing silhouettes, Japanese silhouettes, because we'll get to, we'll fill that in a second. That is the Paul Newman, number 25. He raced a super silhouette. There's not very many photos out there of the Paul Newman number 25, but good choice. Casting's still terrible. Never really, it just never landed right. Thankfully, the Liberty Walk super silhouette kind of supersedes that and can kind of be the tribute that it needs to be. That car was a cool one in the silhouettes. Here's the Monza, which was a surprising choice, but a cool choice nonetheless. Casting that's been around a while, kind of wild. So you get some American love here, and then some Euro love with the Porsche 935 in PPG livery, which was a nice choice as well. Another casting that probably, well, I guess the wheels in the back being, yeah, you know what, it works. It works with this size of wheels. This had a cool run of cars. We'll put that one right there because I don't know where else to put it. And then, yeah. Yep. This is a great companion to the original premium racing, from the Hot Wheels racing that they did. They meaning Hot Wheels did way back in like 2011, because this one is loosely based, well, not loosely, it's based on the Mancuso Chevrolet Greenwood Corvette. So great racing livery, and I'm really glad they did that one. So we'll put that one over there. So silhouette's getting a lot of love. The next one is we got to fill in this little section over here of Japanese race cars. I mean, there'll be more too, but this is the obvious one to join the Calsonic, or quote-unquote Calsonic Z, I should probably say, the Blue Racing Z? I don't know. If you're at a Japanese classic car show and you see this IMSA Z, the GTS Z, and then this quote-unquote Calsonic Z next to it, and then Paul Newman's super silhouette, you could go home right after that. You've seen yourself a great show. All right. McLaren, actually, it's funny, as much as this will be a focal point of the set itself, the Liberty Walk McLaren, I think in terms of this car show, not as much rich history. We could go Liberty Walk. I'll do a Liberty Walk show later because there's going to be plenty of Liberty Walks that will be coming out later. So 720S, right? When the casting was released as a basic, I didn't like it, partly because it wasn't able to get enough detail. The casting got enough detail, but it didn't get enough detail to make it not look kind of blobby. But since they've moved it to premium, I definitely have gained an appreciation for it. This was Fast and Furious. I think this is the first time it went premium. This was Jason Statham's car, wasn't it? In this gray with black rims. I thought about putting that one there because it kind of fits. And by the way, you notice we got best stock, best modified, best JCCS. Kind of fits here, right? We need to just put the stock model in. But I think the one that they did later in the 2-pack with the McLaren Senna, that one fits better in terms of like looking a little more plain compared to the wild Liberty Walk versions of the 720S. So I think that's a nice little mix right there. Let's just walk on over to this wonderful Liberty Walk Super Silhouette display that we need to form. Let's go back to the OG. This one was released as a basic, then moved to premium for Boulevard, based on the Silvia, but this is, so they took the S15 and did an homage to the original Super Silhouette Silvia from the 80s with this lightning bolt livery that it had back in the day. And it's a really nice choice. And, it would be great to see. Hot Wheels did the R30 Super Silhouette, didn't do a great job. I'd love to see Ron take that on. It would be nice to do a classic version of this one too for like a vintage racing mix. Nonetheless, Liberty Walk has done it for us. So now you've got the R34 homage, the S15 homage, and if you remember from Team Transport not too long ago, they did this R35 GTR homage as well. So how do they do the choices? I don't know, but this is a cool casting as well. When did this? Oh yeah, this was the Liberty Walk, was in basic and then went to premium as well. I think this is the only time it's also been in premium. I think, and it was obviously part of Team Transport. So that's a nice display for sure. Let's cut down to here, but we're not going to be done with Colette Davis's Drift RX-7 just yet. But we have to just add the originals to this one, the Pandem. This is based on the Toyo Tires Pandem. actual RX-7 and done in white with the gold. Kind of lace rims, they use the small. I think it's because what they had, this color, but it's a really cool model as well. And some people said the wheels are too small. I don't know. I liked it. And of course, that one, if you remember, also came with the chase. And I love how they changed up the chase with the black rims on this one too. Looked really cool. My voice is starting to go, but that's what happens. And I hope I have a nice radio voice today. I had a friend tell me that when I have a cold or when I'm coming off a cold, I get a nice radio voice. So hopefully it's pleasant. All right, let's see. Well, I think while we're here, we'll finish off with RWB, but while we're here, there was just something. Usually I like to go, obviously there's obvious connection to these other castings, but there's something about the livery on this one. And I don't know if Colette Davis designed it herself, but the color combination's wild. And I thought for a second, like, what were some of the wild liveries that we've seen? JDM only, because you could, whether they're drift liveries or just, kind of a racing or some sort of livery, something that from car culture that's kind of wowed. Because the first car that came to mind, when we talk mountain drifters, we always talk about the Skyline, but this E86 with the drift livery on it, this is the first thing that came to mind when I saw the Colette Davis RX-7. It just obviously reminded me of it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's an obvious choice. So I'm going to add this one to the car show. We're going to go with these really cool, drift cars. The next ones aren't necessarily drift cars, but I was going through it, and I was like, these seem to fit. I could put Rexy and Roxy. They're not drift cars, and they're not JDM, so I kept them out, and you guys have seen enough of them already. I really liked, if we're talking about extreme JDM, this is somewhat based on the Super Silhouettes. This is Dima's Maxima wagon casting, which is wild. And in the Gretty livery, I thought was kind of a cool choice. So I added that one to this wild JDM show. Hello Kitty Civic, had to put that in there. And I only drew from car culture, so I could have drawn from basic because there's a ton of them. But the Hello Kitty, that one goes there. I thought that the Hello Kitty Civic looked really good in this show. And then the last one, which I thought was surprising, the 80s homage Datsun Sunny. This as a drift truck would be pretty sweet. Maybe it's supposed to be one. I get kind of this, or not, I said 80s, I meant 90s. I get a 90s vibe from this. And, but I could see this as a very cool, very interesting, very unique drift truck. So I thought that was a cool show. All right, we'll finish off with RWB. There's only 4 other RWBs. I brought them all. The original, it's already, you've seen it in the package. Here it is in its matte black, raw welt griff gold. This is a clear homage to Stella Artois, which I think is the very first RWB, right? I mean, it's iconic. It says Stella Artois on the side. Hot Wheels is not going to put Stella Artois on a model, at least not one that they're going to put in the in stores. So that was the very first one, and then very soon after that, in Team Transport. So I like the Stella Artois one, but when it was just these two, I was way into the Team Transport more because I really like the combination, the color combination of the wheels versus the purple. It's just like, it's an RWB, make it purple, make it stand out. And for that reason, and I loved how they did the RWE in the back on this one, the text on the front, everything about this, I really like this one, the RWB and the purple Team Transport. And versus the white, I don't know. There's some similarities with the color of the wheels. The white is cool, the design is cool, but I think I still go with the purple as my favorite. That all said, the RLC is wild. Back to the Stella Artois theme. Very similar to the original, but this one gets colored rims on it, which I think is such a cool choice. The deep barrels is a fantastic choice. This was based on Junimai's casting that he did for RWB, and then this is Brendan who went at this one and added all kinds of great premium features like the opening doors, the incredible interior. Notice there's even detail in the interior. I mean, check that out. Here, I'll open the other door. My hands are cold. I don't want to drop this because if I do, I'm dropping a $300 car. But you can see the details there. And not only that, and those are great sounding doors. He did the rear, the boot, and added all those details. It's an all-timer, the RLC RWB. I wonder if we're going to see it again. If they were able to get approvals on this one, maybe they threw this one in the file as well. I hope they did. Put that up like that for the car show. There you go. Silhouettes is a great mix. I know a lot of people are excited about it. Does it compare to Modern Classics and Race Day from last year? It might. It might be better. I don't know. But it's very complete. It's one of the best themes that Hot Wheels has done for car culture. Just that silhouette theme they're just visually interesting cars, and they can play into racing history, of course. It's just fabulous. You guys tell me what you think. Mattel, thank you for sending it. Hopefully in stores and at your favorite hobby dealer soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.